Hello, Virgo. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Cosmic Slumber Tarot by Tilly Walden. Website on the bottom is liminal11.com. Feel free to freeze frame and check that out if you need to. Supportive Oracle Cards. You Are Clairvoyant Oracle Cards by Belinda Grace. Illustrations by Elaine Marzin. Website on the back here, rockpoolpublishing.com.au. A is in apple, U is an umbrella. Okay. What do we have for Virgo? That's interesting. You've got good things, but there's a card here. There's good. I feel like there might be like I have to get used to it or something. I just need a minute to absorb what's going on here. I feel like that's what's going on. A lot of it feels, yeah, because we're changing. Things are changing, which is not bad, but things are changing. You might be holding back on some of these changes. Whatever is changing, to me it's like, it doesn't have to be house related, obviously, but to me it's like if you lived in a house for like 10 to 15 years or maybe longer, and then it's kind of like, I know life is changing, or maybe your job where you're working is changing, and it's kind of like I used to be like 15 minutes away from where I work, and now I'm like 45 minutes, almost an hour from where I work, because I work somewhere different now, and there's other things, like other people are like, well, yeah, we don't live close by anymore either. It's kind of like I know that it's kind of time to change, but especially Virgo, earth signs, if it was home related and you like your home, you're like, but I like my home. And it's like, it's hard to give that up or hard to change that when you like it. Even though there's aspects here where like, yeah, traveling that far every day, one way, it does become a little bit monotonous. It's kind of like, is it time to change? Is it not time to change? And I feel like you've been resisting it. You've been resisting it is what I'm getting. There's a lot here telling me that the change coming in is good, but you're not really, I don't like it. I feel like at this point I'm not liking it. You got the Ten of Swords and the Three of Swords. Again, it's kind of like the house thing. If I'm using that analogy, it's kind of like I really like my house and everything. I like where I live. I like how everything's set up. It's just like I have to drive, almost an hour away now. It used to be 15 minutes, and that's just one way. And like a lot of the people I converse with, a lot of people I deal with, maybe a lot of family members have moved out in the same direction. It's kind of like I feel like I wish I was closer. I feel like I'm missing out on a lot of things. There's reasons why I want to. There's more reason, but there's so much I like where I am. I'm like, but I like where I live. I like my house. I like this. I like that. I just don't like the location of it anymore. It's hard. I feel like this is difficult. Other signs might have this where they can change easier, but this is not your bag. This is kind of like, no, I like the foundation I have. And for some of you, maybe you're connected with a partner or some other reason where it's kind of like, if we're going to use the house analogy again, it's like they're making the decision that it's time to move, or maybe something else has happened here where it's time to move. It may be a circumstance out of your control where it's time to move. Or there's a lot of pressure from an outside source where it's time to move. It just keeps coming at you, and which makes you very unhappy too, is what I'm getting. It's time to change, time to go, time to move forward. I'm faced with this decision. I feel like I'm pushed right to the edge. I feel like I'm at the edge of a cliff, and it's kind of like I got three choices. Go back the way I came, fall off the cliff, or start climbing down the cliff. I don't feel like I can stay where I am anymore. For whatever reason, it's not an option. I mean, you could think of a million reasons why, but it's kind of like I had three choices. And I feel like technically you're like, but I like the fourth choice that you didn't mention, where I just stay where I am and people leave me alone. But I don't feel like that's really an option. I feel like I'd like to believe that it's an option, but I know it's not. So it's kind of like I've come this far on the journey. I either go back where I came from, I climb down the cliff or I get pushed off of it. And getting pushed off of it is not going to be fun. Not going to be fun. It's good. I know there's good things coming, but it's how it feels at this point is really like, is there anything else? I know it's getting better. Like, I get that, but how do we get past this part without it completely upsetting you? Because I feel like the 20 is the judgment in your favor. And then the Ace of Cups. There's good coming here. I don't see you seeing it, but this is really good. So it's kind of like, see, this is another part of it. I can't plan the way I want to. Things are just changing. I have to change. I have to go. Things have to change now. I feel like I don't have this luxury of planning it out, waiting it out. I feel like I'm pushed to the edge. Again, I feel like I'm on this cliff. For whatever reason, maybe I've been holding out, but now all of a sudden I can't hold out anymore. I have to change. For some reason, it's time to change. The journey is coming in, literally the journey card. I'm having a hard time with it. I don't want to change this fast. So we're addressing that. I feel like we've addressed this a lot. Why do we keep coming? Is there something I'm missing? Is there anything I'm missing with this part? Because, like, why do I keep repeating that? Page of Cups and the Star card. Oh, you might have somebody kind of pushing. I feel like there's pressure, probably from a person. And I feel like that makes it more difficult. It makes it more difficult. So I feel like that's what I'm missing. Like, somebody else, there's pressure from somebody else, but I feel like also the way they're handling it, like, they're pushing forward the change, but they're not, like, overly centered on the outcome. So it's kind of like, we need to move, and they're pushing that you need to move. Maybe they live with you, maybe you live with this person. Gotta move, but they're not saying, I want to live here, or I want to live in this area, or they're not really pushing forward the final decision. They're just saying a decision has to be made, but they're not making the decision. I feel like that's part of this. How does this go in Virgo's favor more? How does this go in Virgo's favor more? Okay, there's random decisions coming forward. We already know that. I feel like I have to just kind of like start moving forward. It seems random, but it's not really random the way you're doing it. Kind of like, okay, I got to move. I'm 45 minutes to an hour away from work, so I want to live closer to work. How does this affect the other person? So, like, where is the acceptable place? So, like, say you have a partner, just for argument's sake. They have to drive a half hour in the same direction you do, but they're a half hour. You're like 45 minutes to an hour past, like, same direction. So, like, if you keep going if you were to drop them off first, you would go, like, maybe 20 minutes more in the same direction. So it's kind of like, all right, if we're going to move, this probably should be advantageous for both of us. Is there an acceptable location between where we work? But also, the people we want to hang out with, where does that add in? So if my partner works here, I work here, and the people we want to hang out with are over here. All right, so where's the middle of that area? So, and are there acceptable places there? And I feel like if you just start moving forward that way, just start whittling it down, for example, just like, I mean, not that you're moving, but if you start, like, whatever the situation is, you start to, like, do the process of elimination. These areas are no. So, like, if you're here in the center and everything is west, we're like, well, I'm not going to go east, so we get a process of elimination, not going east. All right, so I want to go west. Do I want to go just west? Do I go northwest, southwest? So maybe I'm like, nope, it's northwest. So I'm going to eliminate south. So northwest. You just keep doing that process of elimination. I have a feeling once it looks like you're starting to make decisions, or this other person thinks you will, all of a sudden I think they're going to get a little bit more motivated, and then they're going to start, deciding what they want more too. They're going to participate more. I do feel like that's going to work more to your advantage. I feel like you want that. Like, when they start participating more, and like this isn't going to work. This is the area. This is the type of house. This is the monetary amount that we're willing to spend, all the other good stuff. because I see the King of Cups coming in. Don't get caught up in the gender, but I feel like things are going to start going a lot better. I feel like you start moving first. The other person seems to like, it's weird because it's like they're pushing for it to start, and then it's almost like you literally start. You're the one who actually starts, and then they're like, oh, since you started, I'm going to add in. And then things get really good. Then possibilities start coming in, and then things start to feel better. I do feel like there's a lot of positive energy coming in once that happens. I feel like there's a lot of support. I feel like once I've accepted that the change will happen, I do feel like it starts moving forward. A lot of energy seems to come in the sense of like assistance. I don't know about anybody making a decision for you. I don't really think you want that anyway. But the appropriate possibilities are coming forward. So like if there's like this location, like, you know, in between where we work and over, you know, also in the center of where we hang out, the people we like to hang out with, maybe there's a 10-mile radius of like acceptable places. You're like finding 5 or 6 places that are financially correct and, you know, distance correct. And now you just gotta like, what are the neighborhoods like? What, you know, what type of amenities does the property have? What do I like? What do I not like? And I feel like once you get to the process of elimination on that, it doesn't seem like that's very hard. There's a lot of help with people telling you, oh, this is good for this is not good for that. If you have this type of situation, you should probably go here. If you have that type of situation, you probably don't want to be over here, blah, 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 blah. People very helpful, very forthcoming with information. It comes forward quick. Everything changes fast, it seems. It does seem to change fast. I get the Knight. I feel like this is the Knight. Between the Prince and Princess in this deck, it depends how it feels, because you got both of them going on here. And I'm one to, like, I just kind of go with the energy. I think the Princess is supposed to be the Knight. I could be wrong. But I'm kind of feeling the Knight in both of these. I almost feel like it's a duplicated energy. Once it starts coming in, everything seems to change. Prosperity comes in very easily. Literally prosperity. It does kind of throw you off because it's like, I feel like you're in the boat of like, quick change isn't usually stable change, and I don't really like that. But this seems to be working out. This is what's calling for in this situation. You got the Lover's card, you got the Moon, and you got the Nine of Fire. So once you make the change, it's going to hold true. You're actually going to like it a lot more than you think. But the Moon card there is telling me it's probably going to take you, for example, if this was going to be a move, I don't know, I'm just using that example, it'd probably take you a good year, maybe even 2, before you really feel comfortable and settled, just to be fair. Doesn't mean that time frame there is bad. It just means that before you truly feel like you got your roots in, it might take a year, possibly 2. Alright, I think we're there. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thank you again for watching, and have a great day.